Hey, Define Yourselfers. Are you on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, etc.? Do you participate on social media or more of a lurker? How do you feel about social media? Do you love it, hate it, or do you have a love-hate relationship with it? If you're new here, welcome. I am Chris, aka The Confident Autistic from theconfidentautistic.com. And today we're diving into the pros and cons of social media for autistic adults. So let's get started. Let's start with the good stuff. Social media offers some amazing benefits for us, including community and connection. See, social media helps us find our community, and that community being others who self identify as autistic, or late diagnosis of autistic, or pursuing a late diagnosis of autism. So, and these communities can be found in groups, forums, or on pages like Facebook pages. And in these areas, we are able to connect with others who understand our experiences and offer support. Another one of the good things about social media is through social media, we can have access to information. Now, of course, we can find that through Google searches and other methods, but sometimes getting the information we want and hearing it from somebody who's walking a similar path as we are means more to us and has more credibility. So let's talk about accessing information, uh, uh, that benefit for social media. See, social media is a treasure trove of information from autism resources to self care tips. It's all at our fingertips. And like I said, a lot of this information you can find on social media. It's not just from experts, but from people like you and me who are living the experience that we are living as someone who self identifies as autistic, pursuing a late diagnosis of autism, or as a late diagnosed autistic adult. And those people who share that information, we often consider them to be very credible sources. Now, obviously, we can have a whole conversation on making sure we get information from credible sources. And that is an important topic and an important conversation to have. But people could tell you what it's like to be autistic who are not autistic because they've done the research, the studying, they have the degrees, the knowledge. But when we hear it from somebody who's like us, who's experiencing it, that to us comes across as very credible source. And we're going to listen to those people. And the best place for you to find people like that is on social media. Now, another benefit from social media for those of us who are on the spectrum is self expression. Social media allows us to express ourselves authentically to a degree. We can take off our mask and be ourselves. We can share with other people and who are on the spectrum some of our struggles, and often in a safe environment, especially if it's a private group where not everyone on the internet can see it, but only other fellow members can see it. This is a great place for us to express ourselves. Whether you are sharing your art, now it cannot be just your feelings and your experiences and your challenges and struggles. There may be places on the internet, there probably are, I haven't looked for them, but where you can share your art. I don't know those places. I'm not a very artistic person in the sense of like painting and drawing and music. My niece who's on the spectrum is very gifted in that area, but I cannot draw a stick figure without a ruler. That's my ability at art drawing. Okay, it's not me. And the only instrument I can play when it comes to music is my radio. That's basically it. But yeah, whether we want to share our art, our thoughts, how we feel, some things that we're struggling with or wondering, why is it so hard for me to understand friendships or whatever, or our experiences, like our meltdowns, our shutdowns. Social media gives us a platform to be heard by other people who are in our community, in our tribe, whatever you want to call it, who are also late diagnosed autistic adults, seeking a late diagnosis, and self identifying, because you fall into any of these three groups because we're a minority. Some studies say 1% of us on this planet on the spectrum. I think it's a little bit higher because I don't think we know everything about autism. But regardless, we are in a minority. And getting into these groups where we can share our thoughts, arts, and experiences, we can be heard by others who understand us and get us and support us. Going through life is hard for anybody, whether you're neurotypical or neurodiverse, whether you're holistic or autistic. We need support. As I said in many videos before, and I'll say again, if we were meant to do life by ourselves, why did God put over 8 billion people on this planet? We're there to help each other. We get into these groups, and others can help lift us up when we're struggling. And then we can be there when others in the group are struggling and give them words of encouragement and share our wisdom and advice. And that's one, the three things I just mentioned are some of the wonderful benefits of being involved in social media. However, social media is not all sunshine and rainbows. No, no, no. There are some challenges to the medium known as social media for those of us on the spectrum. And let's take a look at those challenges. First, could be sensory overload. And what causes the sensory overload for us on social media is the constant notifications and fast paced nature can lead to sensory overload, making it overwhelming at times. I know for myself, scrolling through social media and all the stuff you can see on your feed that's like an endless thing is overload for me. It's too much. There's too many things wanting my attention, too many things I need to read, and uh, well, in my case, pretty pictures to look at and videos to watch and all. And this gets too much to me. And then there's so much going on, and you say something, you post something on social media, whether it be in a group, which it's a little bit better in groups, but you post on your wall, you may not get anyone to respond to it. And then you feel like a failure. And I know that's a little bit off topic here. Um, it has very little to do with sensory overload. I went off topic here. But the point is, there's so much going on social media that you can feel overwhelmed or lost, like being in a crowded environment. I don't know about you, but I don't like crowds. Okay, I don't like crowds. Let me explain that. Maybe there should be some context here. I don't like crowds when I'm in the crowd. Okay, part of the crowd. I'm okay with crowds if I'm up on the stage or if and presenting. I don't care about that. I like crowds. I like speaking to groups to some extent. I'm very reclusive, but I can handle a crowd when I'm on the when I'm not part of the crowd, when I'm presenting and I know what's going to happen. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, sensory overload can be one of the drawbacks or the challenges we encounter as autistic adults when we're on any social media platform. And I'm sure some cause more social, is it social sensory overload. They both begin with S. It's sensory overload. Let me ask you something here. Do you experience sensory overload on social media? And if so, which ones? Which platform is it? Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it X? I hate calling it X. Twitter to me. And this can be my own little rant. Give me about 10 seconds and I'll move on. When they started calling it X, I think of, and not because I have a dirty mind, but when you see that white X against a black background, I think this is X-rated movie. This is porn, I know it isn't. Okay, let me be frank with you about that. I know, well, at least I don't think it is. I've not been on that platform in years. But the point is, I think this is an adult site. This is not a friendly site, but that's my thing. But if you experience a sensory overload while you're on social media, what platform do you experience it most on? And anything else you want to share, if you feel comfortable, share that in the comments, or you can send me an email. Okay, the second challenge that we face on social media are misunderstandings and negative interactions. Now, this is one of the reasons I think some of us are a little bit afraid or uncomfortable um, interacting in real life. And we have the same challenges on social media because unfortunately, not everyone on social media understands our perspective, which can lead to misunderstandings or negative interactions online. Look, let's be honest. We're online. We're talking to people. We're not seeing them face to face. We're behind a screen. And when people are behind a screen, I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about others. They feel they could be more of a jerk than they would be in real life. They may not call you names or say something to your face, because depending on if you look like a football player, you could probably take them. But online, you just, you just text, okay? And people can be very cruel online. I hate to say that, but they can be. The people called trolls that look for people online who appear to be vulnerable and then they attack them. And this is unfortunate, but this is one of the misunderstandings and negative interactions we can experience online. We know this can happen in real life, so we're probably guarded in public. We feel social media is safer. I can be myself. I'm behind a screen. I can be my authentic self. People will understand. Unfortunately, the jerks that are out there in public, they're on the internet too. And they come out more on the internet because they feel safer. They're hiding behind a screen. You could be on the East Coast, they could be on the West Coast, the whole country between you. And they don't mind. They get the kicks out of picking on people. That's wrong. They shouldn't. But this is one of the things that can happen. One of the challenges we have to acknowledge and be willing to accept if we're going to be on social media to benefit from the pros that we talked about earlier. Another challenge that we have when we're on social media is privacy concerns or concerns about our privacy. Lastly, privacy is a big deal. It's important when you're on social media to be mindful of our data and online presence. And this simply means you don't want to reveal too much online. You don't want to go online if you're new online. If you know, I'm not trying to talk down to you, but I just want to be honest with everyone. And somebody may need to hear this, and that's fine. And if you don't need to hear it, no offense intended. You don't want to go online on a public area and say, I live at 123 ABC Street in New York, New York, and stop on by. You don't know who's going to stop on by. You don't want to give that out. And here's my social security number. You don't want to do those kind of things. Here's my phone number. Uh, whether you do it publicly online or even a private message to someone, you want to make sure you feel safe and comfortable with that person because we don't want to give out information that can come back and hurt us. And I'm not just talking about physical harm, I mean emotional harm because there are some jerks in the world. I hate to tell you that, but there are, okay? So that's one of our challenges that we have to face and prepare for and be aware of when we are entering the world of social media. Now it's your turn. What are your experiences with social media? Have you had good experiences? Have you had bad experiences? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Where are you in the social media platform? Now I'm going to share where I'm on social media in the very first comment on this video. So you got to go and look at the comments. And then I'd like you to chime in with whatever you're comfortable sharing with me. Because when you share your thoughts in the comment section below this video, you're engaging and in a way, you're on social media. A lot of people don't think this way. I know I don't, naturally, that YouTube is a social media platform. I think of more of a video streaming platform where you can find information. Since it's the number 2 search engine behind Google, I feel it's a resource. But yeah, when we are communicating and commenting on videos on this platform, we're engaging in social media. So go ahead. Let's start a conversation here. And we can support one another and show each other the good side of social media. If this video resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more confidence building content for autistic adults. And be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new videos and when I go live. Until next time, I'm Chris Mitchell, the Confident Autistic, and I am all about helping you live confidently autistic.